Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber, and in this video we have a package all the way from Korea. In here is something I am very excited to check out and very excited to show you guys. It is the world's first robotic smart cube. So let's go ahead and open it up and check it out. Okay, it looks like there are 2 of these in here. Okay, so it looks like we've got 2 of these puzzles. This is the X Mars cube. You can see a little bit of what it looks like. It's pretty wild looking. Well, this is exciting. It looks like I'm gonna be doing a giveaway of one of these. So that's really exciting. So stick around to the end of the video to find out some details on the giveaway. All right, let's go ahead and get into this puzzle though. I wanna go over the box because it looks like there's a lot of interesting information on here. So as you can see, it doesn't actually require an app. I think that's really cool. I'm pretty sure that there is an app you can link this to, but there's also a lot of functions that the cube has without needing an app, which is really cool. So as you can see, it has a learning mode for beginners, original settings reset, adjustable preferences, auto-scrambling, time recording, solution recording, step-by-step instructions, ghost, and blind solving, features for advanced cubers. I'm very curious to see what that is. And then it has a bunch of non-puzzle features like an alarm clock, intelligent dice. So it looks like you can like do dice rolls with this, which is kind of cool. And then it looks like you can program your own applications into this, which is really interesting as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, I figured there was something else in here. It's just in this bottom section here. But we have the manual and the charging cable. There is a lot of information on here. Okay, so it says, the X Mars is the world's first and only intelligent robot with features including auto-scrambling, time recording, solution recording, and step-by-step solving instructions for the 3x3x3 cube. So then here it describes how you choose different modes. It looks like based on the pattern on one of the faces. When you press the power button briefly, less than 4 seconds, it becomes the menu home state. And then it looks like these are different modes that you can do. All right, so here it is. I don't know if there's any charge, but we can at least kind of just take a look at the visual appearance of this, which is quite striking. It definitely doesn't really resemble a Rubik's Cube at all. Okay, so I'm just flicking one of these faces and the lights are like coming on. It's got a very, very cool sound. I'm not sure what it's connected to, but there's this really strong momentum that you build up just from turning, not even very quickly, but just doing turns like that. I mean, you can see the LEDs light up when I do that. I don't know why that's going on. I gotta figure out how to turn this on. Press the power button briefly. Where is the power button? Oh, right next to the charge port. Oh, that's very well hidden. Whoa, okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have this top face, which shows us the different modes. Okay. What's going on here? Yes. Okay, so this is the puzzle in its base state. Wow, this is so exciting. This looks really, really cool. Okay, so as you can see, when you make a move on any of these faces, the colors update on all of the adjacent faces. So it still functions just like a normal cube, but all of the individual faces are just detached from each other. Oh my gosh, this feels so weird when turning it. Okay, let's try like doing sexy move, I guess. Whoa, this is weird. So doing M slices is definitely going to be weird. Gotta do that. I mean, it still works. Man, okay, this is so cool. Here's a checkerboard pattern. The color scheme isn't quite like a classic color scheme. Basically, the only thing different is just that you have purple instead of orange. But yeah, let's try and do like a J-perm here. Yeah, that works. Okay. It's really a weird feeling turning each individual side. It definitely kind of reminds me of a cross cube. Let's go ahead and do a solve here. Recognition seems like it's going to be a little hard here, but let's see if we can figure out what the heck's going on. So we've got one cross piece, 2 cross pieces, 3 and 4. All right, let's just go. Whoops. This is going to be like the least efficient solve ever. Yeah, I keep just wanting to grip these faces and turn them in different directions. I'm going to have to get used to not doing that. All right, there's a pair. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. There's another pair. And we have this corner with this edge. Okay. Oh no, we got a dot OLL. Oh, whoa. Okay, I think I'm figuring out why the turning feels the way it is, because it seems like it's sensing when you're wanting to make a turn, and then it like does the turn a little bit for you. Because I started making a turn and then immediately wanted to go back, and it like kind of stopped me a little bit. Like, see that, how I make a turn and immediately go back? Yeah, see there, you kind of stopped me a little bit. Okay, let's actually finish this solve. I'm not even gonna try and do the OLL here. Crap.
12 seconds later.
Oh no, and we got an F perm. Let's see if I can do an F perm on here. Yes! Alright, we did our first solve on the X Mars cube. Man, this is so exciting. Okay, let's see if we can dive into some of the other modes here. So here's the power button right there if you guys didn't see it before. Okay. Alright, let's try mode 1. Let's see what that does. How do you, like, confirm it? Cool. Do you have to do it on both sides and then... Okay. Whoa, alright, I don't know what's happening. What is it doing? It's like telling me what moves to make. Is it just teaching me how to solve the cube or something? This is so cool. It's like hinting me in the direction I'm supposed to turn the cube. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm just solving it. Okay, yeah, this definitely looks like some kind of trainer for different steps of a 3x3. Okay, I'm going to see if I can reset it back, because I want to figure out the mode that does the automatic scrambling. I saw a video of it, and it looks really cool. Okay. Solve motored scramble in normal mode. So that's yellow 3, green 0. Okay, let's see if we can do that on here. Okay, so it looks like you have to do yellow first. So we can go to 3 and then go to... No. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This is crazy, guys. It's like all of a sudden I just lost control of the cube and it started scrambling itself. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, this is so wild. Okay, that beep was probably like the start of my time, so I guess I should start going. Okay. All right. I can feel my recognition starting to improve. You can do some really interesting finger tricks with this because of the different way that this moves just as a puzzle. Yeah, this is really interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how fast I could get with this if I practiced for a bit. Whoops. Well, my recognition will have to get a lot better than this. Oh, whoops. Oh, that's there. And then... Okay, we got our F2L done. Ooh, and we got a soon. And what did we get? Oh, an lefty R perm. There we go. Awesome. Oh, okay. So it looks like after you finish the solve, it shows you what your time is on the cube, and this is how you read it. It looks like there's some Android-only stuff, so not something I'm probably going to be able to test in this video because I'm on iPhone. I do want to try the 2x2 version. So that's 7, yellow 7, green 3. Let's see how that would work. Okay. Yellow 7, 2, 3. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so it's literally just corners only. All right, let's try this. All right, let's try and make a yellow or a white face here. Okay, we actually made a layer. I kind of wasn't trying to do that, but that's okay. Whoops. No, I misturned. All right, we got our layer back. What did we do here? All right. And do we have a, oh, looks like we have a Y perm. Oops. There we go. Okay. Man, this is just so cool. I'm absolutely loving this. All right, guys. Well, that is just a few of the features of the X Mars cube. I'm going to go ahead and come back after I've had a little bit more time to mess around with this cube, try out all of the different modes, also pair it with the app and actually see if there is an app on iPhone. I'm not sure. And then I'll come back with a lot more details about this crazy contraption puzzle thing. I don't know. Calling it a puzzle just seems like a bit of an understatement. But yeah, I'll be back soon with the X Mars robot cube. All right, so we are back with the X Mars cube. This is such an awesome device. Now that I've really gotten a chance to explore it more, look at all of the things it can do. So I'm gonna be covering a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna be moving pretty quickly, but I just want to pretty briefly explain kind of just the basics behind all of the modes. So right now it's off. Here is the charge port right here. And right next to the charge port is the power button. So there's the power button. You can see it's just a little button kind of protruding just a little bit further than on every other corner. So it's a little bit hard to find if the cube is off, but when the cube is on, it's always on the yellow side. So we go and turn this on. So when it turns on, you'll get the mode select screen. So basically to choose a mode, you use this purple side here to select the mode, and then you confirm the mode that you want by turning the layer. And so basically what you want to do first is select your yellow mode first. Once you select the yellow mode, you can't change it. So for example, if we want to just do normal manual scrambling and solving, we would just leave it on 0, select it, and then we would select the green side to confirm it. And that confirms the mode basically. And now we're just in the standard manual scrambling, manual solving mode. Another thing too is if you're in this mode, you can do a quick half press just to reset everything back to solved. Press it like that, it'll reset everything. And then if you do a hold for about a second, it'll bring you back to the mode select area. Also, I mentioned this briefly before, but I didn't really know how it worked. But basically, you can read the time off of the cube once you finish a solve. So I'm not gonna do a full solve. I'm just gonna do kind of something like this. And let's see, solve this. Okay. So when you get to the solve state, basically you want to look for the red and green sides because that will tell you the amount of seconds it took. So in this case, it took 3 seconds, and then you look at these two sides to look at the milliseconds. So it was like 3 seconds and 0.03. So it was like 3:03. That's the time. That's just like how long it took me to do that A-perm pretty much. Okay, so now let's go ahead and dive into the modes. So this 0 mode here is for beginners. So if you don't know how to solve a cube, this is where you would start. So if you're totally new to solving a cube, you've never even picked one up before, you want to start with 0, 1. So that's 0 on yellow and then 1 on green. Basically what this does is it will just scramble the cube by a couple turns, and you have to figure out how to solve it. So there you go. And now it's on this side. And it's also timed, so you have to do it within a certain amount of time. But these progressively get harder. So eventually I'll have to do 2 turns instead of 1, you know? So this is basically just for people to get used to how the cube moves. And if I let it time out here, it just goes all red, and then you kind of start over. So that's the first one. 0, 2 is basically the same thing, except instead of sequentially getting harder, where it gets harder as you go, it just kind of gets harder randomly. And it's a bit faster as well. Okay, so now on to mode 1. So mode 1 is also for beginners. This teaches you how to solve the cube. So mode 1 includes 1-1 through 1-7. And 1-1 will teach you the last step for solving a cube, and 1-7 will start you all the way at the beginning. So it's a little bit backwards, but basically, if I can show you here, if I go to 1-7, it'll basically fully scramble the cube, and then it'll tell me what moves to do. So after it's scrambled here, if you get a second, it'll now start prompting me in the moves to do. So for example, if I go to 1-3, it'll be a bit more solved. It'll probably have like F2L done or something like that. Yeah, F2L done, and now we just have to do the last layer. But it'll prompt me in how to make those turns in order to solve it, since it's for beginners. So that's mode 1. Mode 2 is pretty much the same thing, except it doesn't prompt you in which turns to make. So if I go to mode 2 and then go to like 3 or something like that, this will just scramble to the last layer, but it's not going to prompt me in what turns to make. So now I just have to solve it on my own. So the idea is you learn how to solve the cube in mode 1, and then you practice those steps in mode 2. Okay, so now on to mode 3. So 3-0, I've showed you guys this multiple times, but 3-0 is will scramble the cube with the motors, basically. So it'll physically turn the layers in order to scramble it. This is super cool. I love this. Never get tired of this. It's super cool to watch, super cool to show to other people. However, it is a little slow. It's not a super fast scramble. So what you can do is do 3-1, which will just scramble the cube like this without using the motors to do the turn. So this would be the best thing to do if you're wanting to use this cube repeatedly, like do multiple solves on it. You can just do 3-1 over and over again, which will just scramble it up really fast. So mode 3-3 is called half blind mode. So I can go ahead and set it to 3-3. And basically what this does is it doesn't do anything when you're not turning, but as soon as you start turning, it blacks out all of the colors. I think it's like every other turn, the colors come back. But this is called, yeah, so it's called half blind mode because for half of your turns, the cube is blacked out basically. So this just makes it a bit harder. You have to kind of remember where the colors are and just pay a bit more attention to what you're doing. So that's the half blind mode. The full blind mode is pretty self-explanatory. So I'll go to 3-4. And what this does is as soon as you start turning, the cube will completely black out and it won't come back on until you finished your solve. So this basically lets you solve a cube blindfolded without needing a blindfold, which is pretty cool. You don't even have to close your eyes. Like you still have to solve the cube blindfolded because the colors are just totally blacked out. I mean, you can't do this with any other cube. This is something very unique to this puzzle, which is really cool. I can't do blind solves, so I can't really use this mode, but I definitely would be interested to see what some pretty fast blind solvers could do with this. And then the last mode for mode 3 is penalty mode. So basically what this does, once it scrambles here, pretty much once I start solving it, if I pause for long enough, it'll start to undo my moves basically. So I have to not pause. I have to basically keep solving without pausing or else it'll slowly undo the moves that I was just making. So definitely a pretty interesting mode as well. So mode 4 is replay mode, which will basically just replay what I just did. So for example, we can go to 2-1 like this, which will basically, I think, take me to an A-perm. Or no, just corners like this. So if I go ahead and solve these, like that. So now if I go to mode 4, it will take me back to this stage and show me the exact moves that I did. Pretty slow as you can see, but it just goes through the exact moves that I made. I don't think there's any other modes on 4. It's just replay mode, so that's pretty much it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump ahead to mode 7. I'm pretty sure modes 5 and 6 are like file storage, like you can store solves or something like that. I'm not totally sure how it works, but anyway, mode 7 has a lot of cool stuff. So if I go to 7-0, this basically lets you scramble the cube to a certain state. So let's actually just scramble it to like a checkerboard pattern just to demonstrate. So we can scramble it, you know, to this state and then press the button to save it. And then if we go to 7-1, it will just load that scramble that we saved. And there we go. Now we're just at a checkerboard. And of course you can change that scramble at any time. You just go back to 7-0 and change the scramble. So if you have like a PB scramble or something, I don't know, some kind of scramble that you want to save, you can put it in there. And then if you use 7-1, it will just take you to that scramble. So mode 7-2 is basically the opposite of 3-0. So 3-0 automatically scrambles the cube with the motors. 7-2 does the opposite. You scramble it and then it solves it with the motors. And go ahead and go to 7-2. Scramble the cube up. All right. And there you go. Now it'll just automatically solve it. There you go. It's pretty cool. So 7-3 is the normal 2x2 mode like I showed you before. 7-4 is the same thing, it just automatically scrambles the cube for you. So we can go to 7-4 and boom, now we just have a scrambled 2x2. So 7-5 is kind of the opposite of the 2x2 mode. It's an edges only mode. So you can go to 7.5, and boom, there you go. Edges only. And then if we go to 7.6, this does the same thing, just with auto-scrambling. So it'll just automatically scramble it. If we go to 7.7, it does the same thing. It's edges only, but this time with no centers. So it's kind of like a diamond. So we can go to 7.7, and boom, edges with no centers. Pretty interesting. If we go to 7.8, does the same thing, but with auto-scrambling. So there you go. If we do 7.9, it does a 2x2, but with centers. One thing that they did miss with this is to have a void cube mode, which I think would be cool, which would just be no centers. I think it would have been interesting to include that in here, maybe in the future. All right, so now we're on to mode 8, which is for non-cubing stuff. So 8.0 is my favorite. This is probably my favorite mode of the whole cube. I think this beats out the auto-scrambling because this is just so cool. It's the automatic dice rolls. So I think I'm gonna use this for all of my D&D games now for D6 rolls because this is just so cool. So this is just 8.0, so we can go to 8.0. Takes a little while, but it automatically generates numbers on all of the sides, like a 6-sided die. But then if you set it on the table and give it a second, wait for it. It does a dice roll, and now you just look at whatever's on top. So I got a 1 in that case. Even when I'm using an automatic dice roller like this, I still roll really low. Just my luck. But yeah, it's so cool. I love doing that. I wish it didn't take as long. Like there's a solid like 10-second wait after you activate it before it actually does the dice roll. So it would actually be pretty annoying to use this in a game where you're using dice. So it's not super practical, but it's really cool. I love how it spins around really fast. So 8.1 is supposed to be the alarm clock, although I don't think it's working right now. Or maybe it's just not supported yet. Maybe it'll come out in a firmware update in the future. So yeah, I can't really show you that, but I can show you 8.3, which basically plays jingle bells because each side makes a different note. So you can technically play music with this, but I can show you this. It's still pretty cool. So you can go to 8.3 here and let it go. It's pretty cool. And it of course solves itself by the end of it, which is pretty cool. Does a few extra turns at the end there. But yeah, so even before I learned that this cube can play jingle bells, I realized that each side made a different sound, and therefore you could play music on it. However, because there's only 6 sides, you can only get 6 notes out of it, so you're pretty limited in what you can do. But I did learn how to play one song. Do you guys know the coffin dance meme? Yeah, so I learned how to play that. Took me quite a while because I was literally just listening to the notes and then trying to find which side of the cube sounded most like that note. I have no musical ability whatsoever and it took me forever, but here's how it came out. I'm pretty happy with that. With having no musical ability whatsoever, I'm pretty impressed with myself that I was able to figure that out. Okay, so now onto the last mode. Mode 9 is basically settings. So 9.0 will lower the brightness. So if I go to 9.0, it'll just make all of the colors darker, as you can see. If I put it on normal like this, there you go. You can see that the colors are a bit darker than they were before. And then if I go to 9.2, it makes them brighter. 9.2. So there you go. So just to set it back to normal, we'll go ahead and go to 9.1. And now they're back to normal. It doesn't get that much brighter, it just gets a little bit brighter. So then 9.5 and 9.6 are for the beeps. So if you don't like that the cube beeps after every turn, you can turn it off. So we can go to 9.5, and once we activate that, now it doesn't make the beep when we do turns. I like the beeps, so I don't mind having them on. They're not really that annoying for me. So go to 9.6 to, whoops, there we go, turn them back on. Now the beeps are back on again. And then so 9.7 turns off the motor for replay mode. So in mode 4, when you do the replay mode, it does the turns manually to show you the turns that you made. So if you turn on 9.7, it basically makes it so the colors just change instead of the layers actually moving. 9.8 will turn them back on. So that's pretty much all of the modes in this cube. It's pretty awesome. There is a few more things it can do though when you pair it to the app. It's not super great. It seems very much kind of like a first generation type thing, but I'll go ahead and connect it and show you what it can do. So here's the app. If we go ahead and open it up, it looks like it's disconnected right now. So as you can see, it shows my laptop as well as the cube, but we'll just go ahead and pair it to that and you'll hear a little beep. So basically the majority of what this app does is basically just lets you choose the modes that I just showed you all on the app instead of choosing them on the cube. So for example, if I go to, actually let's do master solving and then solve motor scramble in normal mode 3.0. If I click that, it just does 3.0 on the cube. Just as if I selected it on the cube. However, there are a couple things that you can't do with the cube that you can do with the app, at least as far as I'm aware. One of those things being clone mode. So if you have another one of these, and I do have another one, but I don't want to take it out of the box because I'm giving it away, what you can do is basically clone whatever is on one of the cubes to the other one. Pretty simple. I don't think I really need to show it anyway. The other really interesting thing this app does is in the accessories area, we go to joypad mode, we can basically control the cube using our phone here. So if we do up, it'll just turn the upside like that. Look at that. That's so cool. We can just control the whole cube with our phone like this. I think that's super, super cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you can just reset it with this. But yeah, other than that, the app doesn't really do too much that you can't do with the cube itself. So yeah, that's pretty much an overview of pretty much all that this cube can do. So what do I think about the XMars cube? Well, since it is a first generation type of product, there are definitely some problems with it. One thing that is kind of annoying is that if the cube is not fully charged, it doesn't work super well. It kind of bugs out, it glitches out pretty often. Some of the modes just don't even work if it's not fully charged. And from what I've seen, it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get a full charge. Another annoying thing is that it has pretty awful standby time. So I let this cube sit on my desk for a couple days without using it after it was fully charged, and when I went to pick it up, it wouldn't even turn on. So definitely not super great. You would think that if you turn it off on a full charge, it would stay pretty much fully charged even after a couple days, but I guess not. It also is really easy to accidentally turn the layers when you're trying to do another turn. I've done algorithms wrong many times because of that, because in the middle of the algorithm, even without my knowing, sometimes one of the layers will just accidentally just do a quick little turn, and it just messes everything up. So the whole cube is kind of just a little bit slippery. I mean, the sides turn really easily, so it can be a little bit hard to hold and do algorithms properly, especially if you're trying to kind of hold on to one side and do turns on the other side. This can they can kind of rotate a little bit, and then when they're at a 45, they can kind of catch with the other sides just a bit. Overall though, I feel like this is really, really well manufactured. It feels very high quality. All of the modes are really interesting. The colors are really bright and vibrant. It looks really cool. It sounds cool. It's just a really cool piece of technology that I'm super glad to have. As you would expect, it is pretty expensive. This cube costs $100, so this is probably really only going to appeal to a select few people. I mean, it's not really that practical in terms of actual cubing. It's just really fun to kind of mess around with and show to people. But beyond that, I don't see it as being super practical to actually teach people. Like, sure, it does have those beginner learning modes, but I just can't really see someone who's never picked up a cube actually be able to understand what is going on if they tried to use those. I think an actual cube would just be a lot better in that scenario. However, I am really glad that something like this exists. So I'm really excited to see what XMars does in the future, and I just want to give a huge thank you to them for sending this to me and for sending me another one to give away. So let's actually talk about that. So I am going to be giving away this second XMars cube. However, I'm not going to be doing it on YouTube. I've done YouTube giveaways in the past, and it's always been a huge struggle finding people that will ever respond to my emails or ever reach out to me. No one ever does. So because of that, I'm actually going to be giving this away on Twitch. So if you guys didn't know, I haven't actually talked about it on my main channel yet, but I do stream on Twitch at JRCuber Live. I'm still kind of getting my bearings with Twitch. I'm not really used to it. My setup isn't quite right yet in terms of streaming. I'm I'm still lag all the time. Even though my internet is good, I'm still figuring things out. But I am gonna be giving this away over there, and I'll make it really, really obvious when I do. When I actually do the giveaway stream, I'll post a quick video on my YouTube channel saying that I'm live and then I'm giving it away on that stream. So when that stream happens, you can head over to twitch.tv/jrcuberlive, and I'll be giving away this X Mars cube. Anyways, guys, that about does it for the X Mars cube. If you guys do want to purchase this, I will leave a link to where you can buy it on the Cubicle in the description. Again, thanks so much to the X Mars company for sending me this for free to review. If you guys want to support the channel, you can like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications, and use code JRCuber at thecubicle.com for a 5% discount. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.